Good morning, chat. This video is going to be about photography, so if you're a car person, you probably want to click off now. But anyway, so I've been looking over my photography lately, and I've found that although I like taking car photography, that it's, I don't know, leaves something to be desired. You take a picture of a car, that's what you get. You get a picture of a car. You know, I've been watching a lot of photography channels lately. Specifically, his name is James Popsis. What he's made me realize is that I want my photography to look more like art instead of just a picture. Now, you know, I have taken cool car pictures, some at FCP, a motoring event in Lime Rock in Connecticut with the mountains in the back. That's all cool. I've taken some rollers, you know, don't get me wrong, I love my car rollers, but the problem with those is you take a picture of a car, like I said, you get a picture of a car. There's not really much else going on. And what James kind of preaches is that his pictures are about things, not of things. So what that means is take a picture of something that makes you ask questions. For example, you know, I took this picture of this boat recently. And you know, that really makes you think, where is that boat? Where is it going? Why does it look like it's in the middle of the sea? I have a picture of this guy moving that actually hasn't come out yet, or maybe it has when this video comes out, but makes you think, you know, where is he going? Why is he riding his bike so fast? What is this environment he's in? And all of these factors kind of make you appreciate the picture more, in my opinion. That, and I've been trying to develop my own style. I felt like my pictures have been super contrasty lately, more than I like. So I'm trying to adopt this kind of film-esque looking style, something that looks like it would come out of a film camera, but with the quality of a new camera. I've also been trying to go take pictures with a goal in mind. The other morning, I went out for a sunset, or sunrise. I knew that this river looked like it would be a good candidate for a nice sunrise picture, and it was. And hopefully that'll be on my Instagram soon. So you should go follow at rjl.jpg or JPEG, if that's what you'd rather call it. And I knew that there's a walking trail next to it, and I'll probably get somebody going down the road like I did this guy in a cool manner. So I've been really trying to go out with the purpose of taking a picture, thinking about the process beforehand, before going to take the picture. So today, now that I'm done rambling, after I'm done with work, I and possibly Bub will be going down to the beach, because the whole point of my black and white picture of the dude moving on the bicycle, and I have a picture of power lines. This is going to be part of a set called Movement. Now, you know, we have human movement with the bicycle. You may be going power lines. Another photo that makes you ask questions. Why am I looking at power lines? What does this have to do with movement? Things like that. I'm thinking electricity moves through these power lines to places around the world, right? I know, genius. So today, we will be going to the beach because the winds seem like they're going to be kind of crazy. And I want to go under this pier where the poles are symmetrical. And I want to try to get a picture with a low shutter speed of the water moving, hence movement. You see where I'm coming now? Yeah, cheers. We'll be doing that after I get out of work. I'll bring you guys along on the GoPro. And you guys will get to see my new photo process, let's say, in order to try to make art instead of just contrasty Instagram photos. I'll see you then. All right, chat, I'm having one of those moments of inspiration here. I brought my camera to the gym. I've been trying to just bring my camera around with me more. And I saw this excavator kind of like buried in the woods next to this long canal. I'm thinking, man, that could be a cool picture. So here we are. I'm actually in the Aldi's parking lot, getting my camera, my phone, my water bottle to hold my phone up, and we're gonna go try to catch this picture, because I think it's good light. So I think this would be a great composition, but I do need to back up more, which is kind of gross because it's just all sand and and grass over here. But we'll make it work. I don't know if you're able to see me taking the pictures, but I'll put them on the screen. I got a couple, trying to follow a couple guidelines I heard of online. My legs are definitely itchy. There's probably some bugs in there, but I have to go take a shower from the gym anyway, so hopefully we got something. I think that was pretty cool. Oh, and the beach didn't happen last night because we ended up going to dinner and then had to go to a car wash and blah, 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 blah. So hopefully I'm actually going to try to go Saturday morning because the sunrise is actually on that part of the beach. So I think the shadows and the light might be better. But yeah.
Papa? Hey!
Here at the beach, I was just kind of looking for anything compositionally wise that I like. I was specifically looking for a picture of the waves moving because I'm working on my movement set or whatever. So I did get that picture. Hopefully Lizzie was recording something when I was doing that, but I'm sure she did because she recorded a lot of content. Go Lizzie.
Ooh, my watch 10 now.
But then, luckily, there was some people fishing, so they made a nice, I guess, triangle of elements between the pier, the sun, and the person. So that worked out pretty well, and you'll see some of those in the video. But we'll go home, we'll do a little recap. There's some people skimboarding down there, so I might go down there and try to take a couple pictures. And but yeah, thanks for coming on the adventure with me. Oh, I'm stepping on a crab. For the surfers.
I don't know if you can.
Alright, one more to surfer, boys. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed your time at the beach. Thank you again to Lizzie for following me around and taking clips. That was very helpful of her. So now that we're back, I just thought that we could go over some of the photos I took on the beach and kind of go through my thought process and why I took those photos. So the first picture we have is my black and white picture here. And this is the picture that's gonna be going into my movement. So that's kind of the whole reason I set out to go to the beach, take a picture in the first place. So originally it was supposed to be under the pier with the water kind of wrapping around the poles, using a low shutter speed to kind of get that natural motion blur. Now, I kind of scouted under there and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not really feeling this location. I don't really think there's a lot of compositional aspects here. So let me look around. And that's when I saw this guy standing to the right of the pier, which I would consider him the main subject, the pier the supporting subject. And then the pier is also acting as a leading line that kind of goes into the abyss of white in the sun. And the waves that are being captured by the low shutter speed are also working as leading lines, kind of leading your eye across the image, through the image, to the guy, etc. So this kind of goes into the first lesson that I really had to go about learning to better my photography. And that was just to not limit yourself to the plan that you create before you go out shooting. And what I mean by this is, don't throw it away. Use that plan as inspiration. You know, it still took you to the beach, but instead look around a little bit. You know, I could have gone under the pier and took that picture and walked away, but instead I assessed my surroundings, saw that there was a better picture to be taken somewhere else, so I went there and took it. Another big lesson that I'm going to teach here is to use natural contrast in my images. So for example, I have this picture of the sun that I also took. I know the 2x1 crops are sick, okay? I know I said I was going to adapt to a more film style, and I have made presets for that, and I will show you a photo I actually used it on later in this segment of the video. But anyway, first, you know, like when creators say that 90% of the picture comes out of the camera, they're not kidding. Like, if your composition or exposure is not correct when you initially take the picture, you're not gonna really be able to save it. In post, I mean, there are exceptions. Sometimes you can, sometimes you couldn't. But overall, if you take a clean image from your camera, chances are it's still going to be a clean image when you're done cleaning it up in post. So this sun picture is one I saw and I knew it was going to be a banger. And really the only thing I changed about this picture was like the hue and colors. There's very minimal lighting adjustments on this picture. And I think between the kind of the leading lines of the water of the horizon, with the sun being the central object, it really just catches your eye when you look at it. I think it would be a great, you know, beach cottage kind of picture, if you know what I'm saying. Another thing that's coming along with this practice for me is trying to cut back on masks. Now, masks could save an image, could really help differ the subject from the background or the foreground, but I think after a while of using a whole bunch of masks, you end up having a fake looking image because contrast is naturally supposed to fall off as you get further back in the image, and sometimes the masks don't allow for that to happen. And we don't want that here. We want good, clean, artsy images. So that's another lesson I guess I'll teach you guys. And so here we have the picture of the pier that I put my film style on. So yeah, this is one of my film examples. We have the faded blacks, the bright and slightly recoverable highlights. Then we have the color of the buckets popping on the left. We have the flag at the top, and then we have the guy being framed by the poles of the pier, kind of giving all these compositional elements throughout the photo that really helps you draw your eye to each part. But it's still not too distracting, which is what I really love about the picture. And I think the vintage aspect really looks great on this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if piers are just vintage looking, but maybe it's the way the flag is flying, but I think for this image specifically is one that the vintage preset really looks good on. And then another tip that really resonated with me on this adventure out and about was one that James, that I mentioned earlier in the video, he said try to keep the light within 180 degrees of view. Now, when I used to go out shooting, especially when I used to do car pictures at car meets, I used to just go around and just snap a picture here, snap a picture there, not even looking at where the sun is, what part of the car the light is hitting, and none of those. Now, I'm trying to keep the light, whether that be the sun, the moon, lamp post, trying to keep that light within 180 degrees of me to kind of give depth to the objects that I'm shooting. Because if you don't, your image will just look flat. And I mean, there are ways to go about making a flat image look interesting, but 99% of the time, if you have the light behind your subject you're shooting, it'll give that depth, the shadow, the blacks, the highlights, so on and so forth. Because when you do street and landscape photography, you kind of walk around, adjust your body around the subject until you decide that there's enough light. Whereas with cars, you go to a car meet and the cars are parked there. You know, you can't really be like, hey, could you move your car out into the street or whatever, because it's a car meet. People want to show their cars. They don't really care about the content that's coming from them, which is one of the reasons I kind of lost focus on car photography, is because one, the light, but two, if I want to go shoot a landscape or city, I just go. I'm not reliant on, you know, pestering somebody with a car to go park their car out in a parking lot so I can take a picture of it. Now my art is kind of up to me, which has been very pleasant. And the last tip that I think really helped me on my adventure so far, obviously I have a lot of room for improvement, but it was slowing down, and not slowing down in the way I'm walking, but more in how fast I take the picture. Now, before all of my mirrorless cameras, I did have a T6, which was a DSLR, so I didn't have a live preview on the back of the screen, so I used to have to take a picture. You know what, the exposure's a little off, I don't really like the way that shadow looks, let me change it. And then when I got my RP, it kind of turned into just looking at the back screen and just kind of taking a picture, taking a picture, taking a picture. So I found what's really helped me slow down and really take in my surroundings is using the viewfinder. Now I know it's kind of crazy using a viewfinder that's electronic anyway, so you're just looking at another screen, but for some reason, like looking through the little screen and, you know, having to adjust your settings and all that has really helped me appreciate what I'm looking at more and also slow down to take the photo. And I think that's a great tip for anyone, and not just in photography, just in life in general. Guys, we need to slow down. The social media has gotten out of hand. Lastly, I'm sure there are more things that I'm forgetting that I implemented in my pictures that I would love to share with you guys. So if you're enjoying this kind of concept, this kind of video, let me know it in the comments down below, and I'll make another sit down kind of synopsis video like this. If you're a videographer, go practice, go ask your friends to make a travel vlog, have fun with it. If you're a photographer, if you're a car photographer, go pester someone to take pictures in a parking lot. If you're a landscape, go explore someone new and just practice, because that's what our hobbies of art is all about. Practice makes perfect. With that being said, I'm gonna go practice more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.